What's up, everybody out there in internet land, and welcome to the Uncle Brother Moshe's schizophrenic YouTube channel, where you never know what topic of video is going to be uploaded next. Today, we're going to do a little food recipe, and we're going to call this one Uncle Mo's Sticky, Icky, Kicky pork chops. I love the names I come up with sometimes. I really do. All right. But before I do that, time to take a toke. Little sidebar, real quick review on e-juice I've been toking on for a couple of days. It is Elements, that's the name of the company. Pink grapefruit. It's 80-20 VGPG, and it's very pink grapefruity. And if you're kind of looking for that, I kind of put it in my Cloud Beast King tank. I know it's going to kind of eat up the coils just a little bit, but the cotton needs to be replaced, and I'm feeling real lazy today, and I don't feel like doing that today. But if you're looking for it, and if you go to the store and they offer you the bottle without the special top, you can just pour it right into your tank. Don't go for the 60 ml squeeze bottle. If you get the regular bottle, they'll give you... Here, I'll show y'all. This is what you get. 60 mils, right? And they'll give you one of these. Put this into that, and you're left with about... Well, you probably enough to fill 2 to 3 Cloud Beast King tanks. So don't be lazy, and definitely buy this one. Very pink grapefruity, I'm telling you. And with that being said, ooh, time to take a toke. I love pink grapefruit juice. Your flavor profile may not be the same as mine, but whatever. Let's get back to the cooking. Okay, we're going to start with the marinade for the pork chop. I normally like to use bone-in pork chops. My father is not a big fan of that. The bone-in pork chops usually have a little bit more fat. He doesn't like to cut around the fat, even though he doesn't seem to understand the fat gives you more flavor. I used center-cut pork chops. So we're going to start with the marinade. And this is the sticky icky part. Start off with dark brown sugar. I added coconut sugar and some light brown sugar. Then what I added was apple cider vinegar and apple juice. I really wanted to get apple cider. I went around a couple of different stores today. Apple cider is more of a winter-fall type thing down here, but I would definitely recommend getting the apple cider instead of the apple juice. And that's just the base. Then I added some fish sauce. For those of you that don't know fish sauce, you might open it and it smells like hell warmed over. It does not smell good at all. It just helps kind of round out things. And then I also added some regular white distilled vinegar, a couple of cloves of fresh garlic, and definitely added a lot of fresh ginger, some fresh thyme, and some fresh rosemary to the marinade. Also added some extra virgin olive oil and added some sesame oil. Now, sesame oil you need to be careful with because it's a very overpowering flavor. The sesame is very pronounced. And added a ton of fresh lime juice. And a little bit of ketchup, not too much, little bit of ketchup. Added some dry mustard and a couple of drops of some A1 original sauce, and put in, depends how much heat you like, depending on your flavor profile. Again, these are all, you need to adjust the marinade to your flavor. And this is what I call cooking with love. You just add, taste, add, taste, add, taste. I added some chipotle peppers in adobo sauce for a little bit of heat. So right now we got some acidity. Oh! Did I say apple cider vinegar? I think I did. So now you have some acidity, you have some sweet, you have some smoky, and you have some savory. And I have the Ninja blender, so I blended it all up with the garlic and the ginger. I adjusted the ginger and the garlic. Rosemary and thyme, you need to be careful with. Thyme is definitely a lot more powerful of a flavor than rosemary, and I really didn't take the thyme off of the twigs. I just kind of blended it all up in there. And again, you add and add and add. Don't just add a little bit at a time. That's the key, because you can't take out, you can only put in. And I gotta tell y'all that it took me about 30 to 45 minutes to get the marinade kind of where I wanted it. I only had, I think, 2 limes. I really wish I would have had more lime. And I really wish I would have had some coconut water to boot as well too, just to kind of kick up that coconut flavor just a notch. I let it marinate about 3 hours, and it wasn't enough for my taste. I always prefer at least 24 hours of a marinade. And you definitely want to use a non-stick pan. And basically what I did in the pan was a combination of it's Smart Balance oil, which is the combination of vegetable oil, canola oil, a couple of different oils. These oils have a little bit of a higher smoke point, and I did have some leftover compound butter, a little bit of basil, a little bit of oregano within that butter, and I just melted that down real nice in the pan. Slap down your pork chops. You don't want to get the pan too hot. I would recommend medium heat, because remember, you got dark brown sugar, you got light brown sugar, and you got coconut sugar. So this is going to burn. So you really don't want it on a very high heat. Get that butter nice and hot, that vegetable oil nice and hot. I would recommend a half and half mixture of the oil and the butter. And I would wait until you could start smelling that herbaceousness coming off of that compound butter, or you could smell just a little bit of a nutty flavor. I would not recommend waiting until that butter turned brown in the pan. And slap that sucker down there. Depending on your stove, depending on the elevation where you are and what you're using, I would say, and I use thick cut, center cut pork chops, I would recommend about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Now, because you have that sugar, you're gonna get a lot of caramelization, and you may get a little bit. You want a little bit of that burnt, just a little bit of that burnt on the pork chop. And on the center cut pork chop, you also have that fat on the outside. So let it cook on one side, flip it over, let it cook on the other side, and then you just get that nice fat cap and just roll it over in that already, and it's going to look burnt. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. at all. Please don't. This is the good stuff because you're going to deglaze that pan. For those of you that don't know, what is deglazing? Deglazing is when you have all that nice stuff at the bottom of that freaking pan and you add some liquid to it and whatever seasonings, whatever flavorings you're going to add to it, and just you want to scoop all that up because that's the flavor. And that gives you a nice little sauce to pour over them pork chops. Now, I also added some spices to the mix. Little garlic powder, little onion powder, a little smoked paprika. Added a little bit of some red curry and some yellow curry. Not too much. Again, like I was going for sweet, spicy, savory. Excuse me. And definitely taste that marinade before you marinate your pork. Whatever the marinade tastes like is what's the pork is going to taste like. I'm getting excited. It's food. I love cooking for people. Time to take a toke. You can see, right? Look how colorful that is. And thick. All right, so once your pork is done, I would say don't cook it all the way through. Leave it so that like there's a little bit of pink in the middle. Take it off the heat, put it on a cutting board, let the meat rest. Then I took the same apple juice that was in the marinade, poured it right over that. Oh man, I'm getting so excited just talking about it. It was good. Pour it right over there. And then I added I forgot, into the marinade there was the McGillicuddy's apple pie liqueur. Added some McGillicuddy's apple pie liqueur, and I have some ground ginger, tossed that in there. I put just a drop of A1 in the sauce, added a little bit of white pepper, and just a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. Oh, and in the marinade, soy sauce. And do the regular soy sauce. And again, adjust it to your palate, your flavor profile, what you want it to taste like. And then I just added a whole bunch of fresh mushrooms to the mix. I have some dried chopped onion, which gives it a little bit of that Lipton's onion soup type of a flavor. Not too much, just a little sprinkle. Again, you're just like building flavor, and you don't want one flavor to overpower another. I really wish I would have had more limes, and I really wish I would have had some coconut water so that I could have added those flavors. Didn't have it. It's okay. It's the first time I've done this. And just let it cook down. Let it cook down. Cook it at a medium to medium-high heat. The mushrooms got nice and soft. And I added the apple pie liqueur because that's a very sweet and cinnamony type of taste. And I also added just a little bit to the deglazing, a little dark cocoa powder. I did a whole big fusion, and it's just I was looking for a combination of different flavors. Then once you deglaze the pan and it's kind of the way that you want it, I just say take that pork, put it back in there and flip it, constantly flip it, get it nice and coated with that glaze, put it off to the side, and then just top it with the mushrooms and that oh my God, that glaze was absolutely incredible. And I topped it off with fresh organic chives. And they were dried out a little bit. I went to Walmart. They didn't have the actual chives that I was looking for. It was just they were kind of dried out, which gives them this almost like that onion smell and that onion flavor you get in a sour cream and onion dip. It was amazing, and y'all got to try it. That brown sugar, the light brown sugar, and the coconut sugar. Again, if I would have had some coconut water, but the only thing I was kind of looking for in this dish is some sour. So I think the next time I'm going to add some green apples along with the mushrooms when I kind of deglaze that pan. I may even try and do a little bit of that apple liqueur and maybe a little bit of some Pinot Grigio that really has that apple pear type of a flavor to deglaze that pan. With that being said, y'all need to check that out. Love y'all. God bless.